It's Darren with Footman Concrete Solutions. On this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be doing real time and some sped up, but it's going to be tips and tricks on how to pour concrete. And this is roughly like a 6-yard pour. It's an oval pad. Me and Cowboy formed it up the day before. And the mix that we're using on this one is a 4,000 Pete Rock non-pumpable with fiber with a little bit of mid-range water reducer. And you see we stopped there because it needs some mud in the middle. My cousin Kiwan, he's a little bit newer to the concrete, so he can't see it as fast as we can see it, but he learning very fast though. And I'm also seeing that I need some mud right there on the edges. I'm trying to pat it in, but he'll eventually come over there and put me a little bit of mud right over there. And I'm showing him another little spot. You want to have a little bit of concrete to travel with, so you don't want it exactly level. You want to have something to pull back. And I'm using a regular 2x4 on this. I don't have my aluminum screed rod today. You see how I'm still going and he stopped? That's because I didn't look down my rod nor did he shake it. So we were a little off on that. We typically shake the rod when we need to stop. But he seen a hole and I didn't, because I wasn't looking down the rod, which it should be. So now I'm gonna get inside the concrete, which you typically don't, but I don't like passing it. My little hands are short. So sometimes I like to just get in there and it's easier for me to maneuver. So he's pulling, I'm just sitting still. Now he gives me the go ahead and I'm going just slightly off the form. I'm not really touching the form. I'm just kind of going off a feel and just, slowly pulling the rod back with it tipped, like I told you, just barely having it caulk. Some people caulk it too much for me, and you ride over a lot of high mud when it's caulked. Yeah, it seals it up, but you ride over a lot of high mud like that. And I grabbed the come along. I'm just showing them that I'm kind of going off of the edge. So I just take that come along and kind of fine tune it so I can see my grade. Because like I said, I'm not trying to press down on the form. That's a big no-no when you're screeding. You want to just glide across that form. So we're about to get at it again. We go about 4 or 5 foot sometime, and then we stop. But, sometimes, if we're on a bigger slab, we can go a whole bay without stopping. So it all kind of really just depends on the mud and, what we're doing. Right now we're passing, so you're usually going to typically stop every now and then. And I'm just slowly riding off that form, and I give it back to him, and he kind of knows. And you see he has a different technique. He has one of his feet in, and he's kind of just tapping his foot so he doesn't have to cover up his tracks. And look like Kiwan's headed to go get some more concrete. So we're getting to the end of pouring it out. It took probably about 30 minutes. This is probably, once we get closer to the end, we do like half buggies because you don't want to put too much in there. Now I'm starting to bull float it. I like to go the direction that the screed was going, and then a lot of times I'll cross up my pattern and get it nice and flat. But this is, a sped up version of me doing it. I'm not going that fast. And once you get it out and bull float it, we take our floating edgers and start edging it. You always want to make sure you don't roll your edges. So right on the tip of that edger, you want to see a small line. Now, when you're doing curbs like this, sometimes, you kind of naturally got to roll it. But he's doing a good job of staying behind it, keeping it nice and flat. You see Cowboy in the background. He's blowing off the slab. We got leaves on it. And I have what you call Big Blue, which is a Fresno, a steel trowel. Here in Florida, we use steel trowels to seal up the surface. And this is real time. I'm just kind of taking my time going slow. You want to just kind of, like it said, just seal up the surface, get it nice and tight. And usually, typically on a hot day when you put this steel trowel on it, you can go ahead and grab the broom because it's going to be about ready. But I believe this day here, we had to wait a little bit. It was probably, if I had to guess, like about 75 degrees. And you see, I'm not in a rush. I'm making sure I'm filling in my holes. It's important with this that, you know, the bull float determines how good you're going to glider trowel it. You don't get a good bull float on it and get the rocks down, it makes finishing a lot harder. So I don't know if you can hear or not, but in the background, I'm telling my cousin it's about ready to broom, and he's asking me, how do I know? And the reason how I know is because when I put that glider trowel on it, it makes a certain sound, like a tighter sound. I don't really know how to explain it. Like it scratches real hard, you know, let you know that the surface is sealing up and getting tight. So with that being said, they're going to go ahead and float the edges one more time and edge it to get it nice and flat and crisp. And that'll be the last time for that. So I'm brooming now. This probably been 10 minutes after they wiped the lines and stuff out and edged it. And I'm back dragging here. And usually with the high range or mid range water reducers, sometimes depending on the mix and the day or whatever, it brooms a little funny. So what I've learned to do is to back drag it first and let the concrete sit, let the pores open up on it, and then come back and lay it down again with the broom, as you'll see. Because right now, you know, we're just going back. You see, it's a good broom. It's a definitely a decent broom. But I like things a certain way, so I'm gonna go back again, and you'll see here shortly what I'm saying. And we're wiping that broom off every time, getting that cream off of that broom. We don't want that cream on there because it's wet. Now, if it's hot and tight, you want to keep that cream on there. So you see, this is the second pass. That's my first pass there that I did. As you see, the texture looks good. Then I'm coming through. I'm going to back drag the first two sections because it still was a little wet. Remember, that's the last thing we poured. So now I'm going to push up, because that was a little wet. He's just looking out. There was I think it was a leaf out there.
You might can push up right.
So now I'm telling him, I'm like, no, I'm gonna push up. This is tight enough to push up. So now I'm pushing the broom, which is gonna lay that concrete down very nice. Then he'll pick it up, and I'm gonna tell him, I think I can come back. And when I come back, it lays it down beautiful, as you see. So there you have it. There's a couple of tips and tricks on how to pour concrete. Thanks for watching.